I used to think being a good boyfriend meant listening, caring, and showing up when it mattered. I didn't realize that, for her, it also meant having some kind of psychic ability. My name is Adam. I'm 29 years old. And for 2 years, I dated a woman who truly believed that if I loved her enough, I would just know what she needed without her ever saying it out loud. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. Little things here and there. She'd get quiet, a bit distant, and when I asked what was wrong, she'd sigh and say, "Nothing. It's fine." I learned quickly that nothing never meant nothing. It meant there was something I'd failed to pick up on. Some invisible test I didn't even know I was taking. I tried to guess. Was it something I said? Something I didn't say? Did I forget a date, a tone, a look? Sometimes I'd get it right and she'd soften, smile, say, "See? You do get me." Other times I'd be wrong, and the disappointment on her face felt heavier than anger. She used to tell me, "I don't want to have to explain everything. A real boyfriend would just know what I need." I remember laughing the first time she said it, thinking she was half joking. But she wasn't. Not even a little. Emily was emotional, intuitive, very in tune with her feelings. I admired that about her. I'm more logical, more straightforward. Something bothers me, I say it. I assumed we balanced each other out. What I didn't realize was that, in her mind, my way of communicating was a flaw she expected me to grow out of. The tension really started building after we moved in together. Living together amplified everything. The silences lasted longer. The sighs got louder. The looks sharper. She'd walk around the apartment doing chores aggressively, slamming cabinets just a bit harder than necessary. I'd ask, "Hey, what's wrong?" And she'd respond, "If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you." That sentence became a wall I kept running into. One night, I came home from work exhausted. I'd had a brutal day, back-to-back meetings, a project falling apart. I walked in, dropped my bag, and said hi. She was on the couch, scrolling on her phone, barely looked up. I cooked dinner. Cleaned up. Sat next to her. Silence. Finally, I asked again, "Emily, did I do something?" She put her phone down slowly, turned to me and said, "It's just disappointing." That word. Disappointing. Like I'd failed a class I didn't know I was enrolled in. She explained, in that calm but cutting tone, that today was a hard day for her emotionally. That she had felt overwhelmed. That she needed comfort. And that the fact I hadn't immediately noticed her mood and responded the right way said a lot about how much I really cared. I apologized. I always did. I said I didn't realize, that I wished she'd told me. She shook her head. "I shouldn't have to tell you. I want to be with someone who just gets it." I remember staring at the floor, feeling small, wondering how I was supposed to get something she refused to communicate. Still I stayed. I tried harder. I paid more attention. I watched her tone, her posture, her breathing. I second-guessed every interaction. I was constantly on edge, afraid of missing something important. The breaking point came on a Friday night. We had plans. Or at least I thought we did. We talked earlier in the week about staying in, ordering food, watching a movie. Nothing fancy. After work, I picked up her favorite takeout. I even grabbed dessert, thinking she'd appreciate the extra effort. When I walked in, she was dressed up. Makeup done. Heels on. Sitting at the table with her arms crossed. My stomach sank. "What's going on?" I asked. She looked at the food in my hands and let out a short laugh. Not amused. More like, offended. "Wow," she said. "So you really didn't know?" Didn't know what? Turns out, in her mind, tonight was supposed to be special. She'd had a rough week. She'd hinted, apparently, that she wanted to go out. That she wanted me to plan something romantic. That she wanted to feel chosen. I stood there, holding a bag of food I suddenly felt stupid for buying. "I thought we said we'd stay in," I said carefully. She rolled her eyes. "I said that, but I didn't mean that. A real boyfriend would have known I wanted more." There it was. That sentence again. A real boyfriend would just know what I need. Something inside me shifted. For the first time, I didn't rush to apologize. I didn't scramble to fix it. I felt tired. Not physically. Emotionally. Like I'd been carrying the weight of two people's expectations for too long. I asked her quietly, "Do you hear how impossible that sounds?" She frowned. "Impossible? It's called emotional intelligence." "No," I said. "It's called mind reading. And I don't have that." She stood up, anger flashing across her face. She accused me of being careless. Of not putting in effort. Of making her feel unseen. And maybe, in her own way, that's how she felt. But standing there, I realized something I'd been avoiding for months. No matter how much effort I put in, it would never be enough. Because the standard wasn't communication. It was perfection. And perfection was always moving just out of reach. I put the food down on the counter. The room was quiet except for her breathing, sharp and impatient. And for the first time since we started dating, I didn't feel afraid of losing her. I felt afraid of losing myself.